Covering the Universal Orlando Resort for over 5 years, you are listening to the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 219 of the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast. I have returned.
Woo!
This is Darren. And with me tonight we have Lee.
Hello everyone.
And Tracy.
Hello.
Hunter is out with an ear infarction.
It's weird, one comes back, the other one disappears.
Yeah.
Maybe we're the same person.
Oh. I was going to say, I've never seen you in the
that?
same room together, but we have.
I thought I was just going to say they've had lovers tiff.
Oh, how's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Yeah, good.
I was just boggled over our listener figures at the moment. Seems we've had a lot more downloads this week than we normally have. So if you're a new listener, welcome aboard. I hope the last one didn't put you off.
And if you're robots, 01010111.
Because it was weird.
It's not weird, it's
It was
good.
a totally off-topic episode. Like, we only really talked for the first 20-25 minutes about Universal, and the rest was just us crap.
Well, maybe that's all they want to hear is us talk about crap.
I could do that every week.
Maybe that's the secret.
Maybe.
Not so much Universal on your Universal show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how are you, Darren?
Oh, I'm doing well, very well.
Good.
Been pretty tired with horror events in general. Halloween Horror Nights, Hollow Scream, Shallow Grave. If you've been listening to Dead Man's Digest, you've heard it all.
Yes, we're waiting. We need another Dead Man's Digest because the public are waiting to hear about the repository.
Oh yes,
Yes.
that is actually already been recorded, is being
Awesome.
edited, and will be out probably the day after this one. I'm guessing.
Awesome.
Excited.
And in other news, we have a special important delivery.
Ooh.
We do indeed.
Yes, Tracy, could you assist me with this one a little bit?
I can. This is going to be a bit awkward.
What the hell?
Yeah, yes. Lee's looking very confused. Yeah, if you can just reach over to you. I'm just parcel over to Lee.
What the hell's going on here?
Right, so, hang on. Just a little message for you first. I'd like to speak on behalf of all of the UUOP listeners in presenting this gift to Lee for all his hard work pulling together a weekly show. Now, I know there's no I in team. Go on, you can start opening.
Okay.
And you are all valued and loved members of the team, but Lee is the driving force behind the podcast and the reason I'm a podcaster on Diz After Dark,
Oh my god, who's this off?
Europe's biggest Disney podcast, Universal After Dark, Europe's second biggest Universal podcast, and Strike, Europe's biggest Marvel UK timeline
God.
podcast. You know who it's from now?
I would say Craig.
Yes,
Craig.
it's Mr. Lucas. With a lot of help from Darren here as well.
Oh my god.
UUOP is still the first podcast I listen to when it drops, and I'm so thankful to have been there when it was only a couple of shows old and to be still listening now. Just thank you, Lee, you orange-headed, pumpkin-faced, 8-bald-headed.
Hey!
We love you. Also, a big thank you to Lee and all of you for giving Universal Orlando fans a voice and a project to get behind and a community that's open to all.
I am kind of speechless, to be honest.
There you go.
I have just opened up the Masters of Horror t-shirt, which is the one t-shirt that I said if I was going to Horror Nights this year, I would have bought, and that is awesome. Thank you, Craig.
Yeah.
Oh, he
How did you manage to keep that a secret?
he was hoping for tears, I'll tell you that much.
Oh my god, I'm just...
It's all right, Craig. I'll kick him in the balls later and get the tears for you.
That is awesome.
Yeah, this is that was a months-long process. Craig sent me the money for those shirts before Horror Nights even started. And he said, we'll figure it all out later. And he sent it to me, and went and picked them up, and shipped them out to him, and he shipped it out to you, and you got it.
It only arrived Thursday.
Wow. Thank you. I do this as a labour of love as well, but it's awesome. I love every one of our listeners. As I said, especially we just seem to have got a massive bump up in them.
Yeah, so there you go. You
I'm
are
all embarrassed.
appreciated.
Thank you.
Oh, now he's doing the pouty sad face. Happy sad face.
I'm happy because that
Here it
t-shirt
goes.
is awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm not recording that.
Oh my god, what was that?
That's just a video of you opening it. You requested it.
You should have done it on Facebook Live.
I don't know how to do things like that. My girl.
Oh my god.
His face.
I hope I'm not as red as I feel now.
All right, with that business out of the way,
Yeah.
we will begin a Florean Fortescue ice cream debate from Donna.
Hello. So this is Donna with the Producers Club. Got our Florean Fortescue votes here. So my choice is going to be the salted caramel blondie. My husband really likes the chocolate chili. We both still like the apple crumble and the butter beer, but those are our top choices. So salted caramel blondie and chocolate chili.
Oh, it's catching apple crumble up, Darren.
Yeah, it's getting up there.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think apple crumble's either 1 or 2 ahead. I can't quite make that out.
Oh yeah, get your apple crumble votes in, please.
Oh, I've still got that people have sent in at least another 4 or 5 waiting to go up. So we could have a swayed vote at this point.
Right.
We shall see.
We need to actually start thinking about what's going to happen with next year's debate.
Yeah. Oh gosh, what's that going to be? Duff beers. Duff beers. Duff.
Yeah.
I'll just team pop.
Exactly. There you go. Also, Flaming Mill included.
Oh, there you
go. Well, thank you very much for that, Donna. And don't forget, we still want your ice cream debate entries.
We do indeed. And if you want your vote to be heard, just record as a message on your phone telling us who you are, where you are, and which is your favourite Florean Fortescue ice cream flavour, and email them to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com.
Or alternatively, you can go to speakpipe.com/uuopodcast and record your message there, and that'll come directly to us. And of course, for the best results, do it in the Wizarding World because it makes us cry.
Yeah.
Makes me cry.
Yeah, it definitely makes Lee cry.
Anything makes Lee cry.
Including queuing up the news. Yes, in case you didn't know, those little tin sounds you hear is Lee crying onto the laptop. And that begins. Well, welcome to the news. And first, we will head over to Seth to hear more of the little things from Universal Orlando.
Hi, everyone. This is Seth Kubersky, back with another look at all the little things that are new around the Universal Orlando Resort. We'll start over at Universal Studios Florida, where October is soon coming to an end, which means Dufftoberfest is running out. If you haven't had a chance to try Dufftoberfest beer, which is a special form of Duff beer that is a dark porter, tastes a little bit like the Wizard Brew, also brewed by Florida Beer Company over in the Wizarding World. If you want to try it out by the end of the month, just a reminder that you can get an extra 2 ounces on each refill if you buy a souvenir beer stein from Moe's. Also over in Universal Studios, sad news, turkey legs are no longer available from the snack cart in the New York area near Revenge of the Mummy. If you want turkey legs, you're going to have to go over to Monsters Cafe or another location in the park. Finally, the Transformers gift shop at the exit of the Transformers ride has added custom cell phone cases. You can also find custom cell phone cases in the Men in Black store. Over at Islands of Adventure, I've noticed that the Hulk is now no longer offering a on-ride video. You can still get on-ride photos with your My Universal photo package, but on-ride videos are now only available at Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. Also in Marvel, the ice shop, Frozen Ice, next to Spider-Man, is down for refurb. No word yet exactly what that's going to look like when it comes back. Could just be cleaning it up. Likewise, the Christmas store in the port of entry at Islands of Adventure is also going through a refurbishment right now. And finally, the biggest little news this time around is that Pteranodon Flyers in Jurassic Park has activated its return time ticket kiosks. These are sort of like fast passes, very similar to those used to enter the Wizarding World on busy days. They're little electronic ATM-style kiosks that dispense a ticket with a return time on it. And that way your kids, if they are in the right height range, can ride Pteranodon Flyers without having to stand in the queue. Your total wait time will probably still be about the same as it was under the standby system, but at least your kids can play in the caves of Camp Jurassic while they're waiting. That's everything for this time. Thanks for listening to this edition of All the Little Things at Universal Orlando. I'm Seth Kubersky from Orlando Weekly and the Unofficial Guides, and I'll see you next time.
I've been wondering what that kiosk thing was with Pteranodon flies that people have been posting around for a while was.
Yeah.
That queue is horrendous.
Yeah, well, I've never actually been up there to see it personally, but yeah, it's kind of fun. I think it's funny that one of the smallest, most kind of trivial rides they have there in that whole park is the one that gets the return ticket, timer.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny to me.
But I think we've said it quite a few times on the show. We've only ever done it, I think, twice with the kids, but even with minimal people in that queue, you can still wait 20 minutes, half an
easily.
hour, because it's such a slow loader.
It's not. I wouldn't wait more than 10, 15 minutes for it, really.
And that's it as well. Obviously, it's one of those rides that little kids are going to go on who are going to get bored out of the brains. You can give them a chance to go and run around and then come back when your time's up. So I think it makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah, and having the Camp Jurassic right there,
Yeah,
like
It's
Seth
ideal.
said, makes a lot of sense for that. So
yeah, good. Just
Good.
keeping the flow going a little bit better, isn't
Yeah.
it?
definitely. And going on to the next bit of news here, and it's on to Horror Nights.
Yes, obviously Hurricane Matthew passed through. What is it? Is it 2 weekends ago now at this
So,
point?
3?
Has it been that long?
I think it's been 3 actually.
Wow.
Has it?
Oh, Darren, you were
Here, I
there.
don't even remember.
Darren survived it.
Yes, this is true. Well,
Yeah,
they
I
should know
was
then. They've not got a T-shirt. I survived Hurricane Matthew. But anyway, obviously Halloween Horror Nights was cancelled that weekend at Universal, and they've announced that any Halloween Horror Nights tickets that were purchased and dated for Thursday, October the 6th and Friday, October the 7th will be honoured on any Halloween Horror Nights 26 event night up until, I'll say, the 31st of October at this point, but we might find out something a bit different later. And obviously express passes dated for those 2 days can also be used on any single event night through, again, October 31st. But your express passes, you'll have to go and exchange them at one of the express podiums at Universal Studios Florida or at any guest services locations. And guests with Halloween Horror Nights multi-day tickets should use the dates printed on their ticket as normal. So that's good.
Yep, and I don't know. I've heard that if it was like you were coming down for one weekend and you weren't able to attend, they are giving full refunds to those people.
Okay,
like
that's
if
good.
Yeah,
if it's not possible for you to get back. So
Yeah.
that's good.
yeah, nobody's losing out a whole lot. Actually, going into that, it has been confirmed that the event is being extended to include 2 extra nights to make up for the nights Universal closed the event to due to Hurricane Matthew. Natalie, did you see if that also includes the frequent fear?
I didn't,
Customers?
actually.
Yeah,
Like I
I
say-
know that's something like Travis from the Dead Man's Digest podcast was a little worried about, seeing if he would get his 2 nights back, essentially, for the ones.
You would
at
think
least his
so.
1 night.
You would assume
Because-
so.
Yeah, because the frequent fear is the one that does not include Fridays and Saturdays.
Oh,
so
right.
he did lose a Thursday though,
So you're
because
thinking
it did
about
not
that
go
Friday.
Thursday night. So he was wondering if they're going to do 1 night for him, if they're going to do 2, how that's going to work. So I'm sure they'll have that figured out, and if not, contact guest services. They'll be able to give you a definite answer for sure.
Yeah, I know. We had friends who were over there when it hit Rosie and James,
Yeah,
and they were the only nights they could do horror nights, so they didn't get to go at all because of it.
such a shame.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things,
Yeah, it is.
but I must have. It's like if we'd come over last year and something had happened, and the only 2 nights we could have done horror nights, it was closed. I would have been.
Well, that was
Bleeped.
the reason we went.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
probably
you
pretty
can-
sure
you
it was
can only
part of the reason
imagine.
they went at the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Florida's been due a hurricane. You haven't had a big one for quite some time now, have you?
Well, I think it's fine if we just don't have any.
Yes,
but you know
I
what I
absolutely
mean.
If we
agree.
do one.
Yeah, but it does
We'll
happen,
have
doesn't
it
it?
then.
Because I know when we came over in 2004, when Gene hit, they were saying that they hadn't had any major ones for quite some time, and that's usually what happens. It's like that.
It's
You kind of
cyclical.
worry if you get so many years without them that at some point you're going to get hit by a big one.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've been living here for 13 years now, and it just seems like they get fewer and more far between each time it happens. So
But then bigger
hopefully
when they do
it
hit.
sticks that trend.
Yes.
And We don't get any other major ones. This one, we lucked out quite a bit. St. Augustine, some places on the coast, Cape Canaveral, got quite a bit of damage and flooding, which is terrible because that's some of our most historic coastal cities and things over there. So, but I know St. Augustine's already rebuilt back up pretty well and is going strong. And Orlando, fortunately, the only damage that I've heard reported from employee friends and that kind of thing was a fence outside of Texas Chainsaw Massacre fell over onto the tent, but they were just able to push it back into place and everything was fine.
That needs a "We Will Rebuild" meme.
Yeah, because they pulled down the Academy of Villains stage, didn't they, before it? To make sure that never got
they did.
Because didn't they perform just on the street then the first night back up?
That's how awesome they are. They're like, whatever, we're just going to do it on the street.
That's cool.
It is such a good show. But there was a great travesty that happened the weekend after the hurricane when I went up there to go to the repository and to go through the houses again. There was one thing I was very much looking forward to having one last time before Horror Nights ended, and that was my hot dog pizza.
A hot dog pizza?
Yeah, it's a pizza with a whole entire hot dog in the crust.
Oh, it's like Domino's do that over here.
Yeah, not sliced up either, just like a straight up just whole hot dog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was very much looking forward to that. Derek Bergen calls it like a travesty of humanity that it even exists. But I was very much looking forward to that, and every single food stand was down and closed. Like they got the stage back up for Academy of Villains, but they couldn't get the food stands back up somehow.
Oh,
I bet the drink stands were back up.
Yes, about that. Yeah, they were definitely not lacking in that department.
No.
And then only a couple of food locations open, so we just kind of starved through the whole thing until we left.
They'd have lost a lot of money over that weekend and the following then if they didn't get the food stands back open.
Yeah, you'd think. But anyways, yeah. So that's cool that they are keeping that open for another night.
Yeah.
I heard the employees got paid anyways during the hurricane time too, which was really awesome of Universal. We're gonna say not every theme park did that.
No.
But that was just really awesome of them, and then just giving them some employees an extra opportunity to make some more money, during on a seasonal job is just really cool.
Yeah.
So it works out for everybody.
Absolutely. Just those people, unfortunately, that were there who were only there for that weekend.
Yeah, that's terrible because I know coming over here is not easy for you guys.
No.
So. That is such a bummer.
No, well, but like I say, I would have been devastated. But there's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is, but...
Exactly. And it's really hard to be mad at anybody in the situation. It's just...
Yeah, I won't get into things. Say be angry at God. If you believe in God.
Right.
No, we'll go to cut that, thank you.
Anyway.
All right. Well, next up we have some news about a new menu at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, we do indeed.
This is
make really, seriously, after what we've eaten today, I do not want to talk about food.
You won't want to eat any of this. Oops.
Oh, okay. Hard Rock Cafe at Universal Orlando City Walk is going green with its new limited time vegetarian menu. Why won't I want to eat vegetarian?
Just keep going.
Okay. Just in time for Vegetarian Awareness Month. Now, this is through Sunday, November the 13th. Of this year, obviously. Now, Hard Rock Cafe Orlando will expand its legendary menu offerings and serve up fresh and unique vegetarian-friendly dishes and plant-based beverages, not beverages.
There's a state of plant-based beverages.
Do we have animal-based beverages?
Just keep going.
Additionally, many of the items feared. Oh
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Right, featured. On the Hard Rock Cafe, I'm not going through that. On the Hard Rock's meatless menu can be prepared to accommodate vegan requirements. But no, this is good.
Go on.
A full list of offerings includes cauliflower wings.
Cauliflower wings?
Cauliflower is really cool at the moment. We have cauliflower couscous and cauliflower steaks.
But why are they wings?
Well,
they just
chicken
dress
wings.
them up like...
They just
They dress them up like hot wings, basically.
Yeah.
All right.
Ratatouille flatbread. That's not rat, is it?
No.
Oh, that sounds nice. I love ratatouille.
On a flatbread.
a grilled ratatouille wrap.
I bet you don't like the next one.
Can't even say it. God, I hate fennel. I can taste it. I hate
Go on.
it so much. Fennel, beet, and orange salad.
What's beet?
Beetroot.
That is very good.
That sounds like they just had
It's what was left in the
ingredients on a
cupboard.
wall and they
Yeah.
just threw darts.
Well, beetroot and orange goes very well together.
Oh, they'd use.
It's like sweet and sour.
Yeah.
But fennel, why would you chuck aniseed in that? Why would you put fennel in anything?
They've gone, right, we've made this menu. What have we got left on the shelf? Right, we've got some fennel, we've got a beet, and we've got some orange. Right, chop it up, sling it in the salad. We'll sell
This
that.
one is to trip people up on how you pronounce it.
Go on then.
The pico de gallo quinoa arugula salad.
Jesus, that is a mouthful.
That is good job though.
Oh, I like pico de gallo. I like quinoa. I
You don't
hate
like arugula. I don't even
we
know
call
what
it
arugula-
rocket.
All right. No, you had that today.
Yeah.
And you said you didn't like
Don't
it.
like it. And a
yeah,
cauliflower burger. A cauliflower burger.
What were you going to say there, Darren?
That quinoa arugula thing. I cannot get behind the textures of quinoa and lettuce or like any kind of like leaf thing together at the same time.
No, you don't put anything like arugula or anything like that where it's hot. Anything wilted is nasty.
Yeah. No thanks.
Goes like slime. It's like eating slugs.
Ah, delicious. No, it's a meat-free menu, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A cauliflower burger, which, like I mentioned before, it's like a cauliflower steak, just smaller, and slapped in a bun.
Yeah.
It's strange. I
So-
suppose.
I think that's
But
the thing
no.
I'm most likely to try off this menu if I had to try something.
What, the cauliflower burger?
Yeah.
See, cauliflower doesn't taste of anything for me.
Well, yeah, exactly. So they can just season it up whatever way they want.
It takes
True.
on flavours.
Hopefully
I would actually try everything apart from the fennel.
Yeah.
I completely agree. The demand for vegetarian dining options has grown as guests look for more variety. I've said for years it's a big struggle.
For you, yeah,
For
you're
me,
not
because-
vegetarian,
no, and if-
but yeah.
And at a push, I'll eat chicken.
Mhm.
Maybe fish. So we've developed a new meatless menu that goes beyond the typical. There's going beyond the typical though, but sometimes people want something that's a bit familiar. Do you know what I mean? There are plenty of vegetarian things that are a bit familiar. But then again, we're all sick of mushroom stroganoff.
Wait till we
Yes,
get
so
to the drinks.
Alex, is that Merchant, Senior Director of Marketing for Hard Rock International, said whether it's one of our new vegetarian-friendly salads or my personal favourite, the cauliflower burger, we have something to satisfy our guests' ever-changing cravings. Hard Rock Cafe's new vegetarian menu also features a cocktail that pairs perfectly with vegetarian options, as well as alcohol-free offerings, which include...
Go on.
Okay, I may need alcohol by the end of this. A very vegetini.
What's that, a vegetarian martini?
I didn't know it wasn't
What
vegetarian. They put an
made it
olive or
meaty
an
before?
onion in it.
I suppose it always was vegetarian.
What do I do? Put a drumstick in it.
I don't know.
Side of beef. A wascally wabbit, which is alcohol free.
What? I want to know
That's
what
really-
makes that a wascally wabbit.
I would just like to say they've missed a trick because that should have extra alcohol in it because it'd be funny when people come at the bar asking
Trying
for
to
it after
order
3.
it.
And now the new menu items celebrate Vegetarian Awareness Month. Does that mean these are only going to be available? Oh my goodness.
No.
Available for the month.
Yeah, it's just said it runs through now until November 13th.
Well, let me just finish this sentence and then get on my soapbox. This was designed to spread awareness of vegetarianism and the benefits of a meat-free diet. So you can stop by the Hard Rock Cafe to try out the latest items or visit hardrock.com/Orlando.
Obviously to see
Do you
them,
know
not to
what?
eat them.
Actually, shame on you then for it just being a monthly thing. This should be a permanent rollout.
Right, in fairness,
Vegetarianism is the fastest growing religion in the world.
it's not a religion.
You know what I mean? A lot of people are adopting a vegetarian diet for its health benefits. A lot of us don't eat it because we don't like meat. A lot of us don't eat meat because we don't agree with it. Right? But to just give you that for a month and then take it away,
Right.
do you know? I know it's
I've said
Vegetarian
this
Awareness
the same,
Month,
right,
but
about Toothsome with their menu. We had this conversation with Hunter the other week that menu is massive. And it might
you
be a
like
case
chocolate.
of they've just slung so much on that menu, see what hits, see what doesn't, and then in 6 months' time, pare it down. This might be a case of let's fling a few things out, see what hits, see what doesn't, and then once Vegetarian Awareness
We'll
Month
add
is
one.
finished, we'll leave the 2, 3 or 4 that are popular on the menu.
But you know what? From a vegetarian standpoint, it would be nice to have a whole page of a dozen or more dishes to choose from rather than just, oh, we'll stick a vegetarian starter here, we'll stick a vegetarian entree there.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating and it's hard to get something to eat when you've got a choice of two things and you don't really fancy either. Give us some choice. Make this a permanent thing.
No, that's true.
You know,
Considering in the park, if you want something vegetarian, good luck.
Yeah, and it's, you don't understand because you eat meatly and you've never had trouble.
I'm not bothered.
But there's been times when I've just gone, fine, I'll just eat that, or I'll have chicken because I don't actually like the vegetarian dish.
It is something I've toyed with the idea of doing on the show for quite some time. I need to find someone. If anybody listening goes to the parks fairly regularly and is a vegan or a vegetarian, would love to have you on the show to sort of talk about how you cope eating in the parks. It is something I would like to do, and it's something...
Do you know what, actually? Go to guest services as you pass and just say, we need more vegetarian options, vegan options. Because if they don't know the demand's there, they're not going to do it.
But if you've got to look at one of the things that Disney's really, really famous for are their chefs and restaurants catering to people with allergies and vegetarians and stuff like that. That their menu, I think it's getting dumbed down a lot more than it used to be. But their options, they're famous for it. Whereas Universal...
In Disney, I've ordered off plan. Off menu before.
Had some very interesting conversations with people in the Universal community recently. And one of the things that has come up a lot is that Universal, they've grown very big very quickly and they are still learning to cope with the amount of people they're getting in.
Yeah.
Disney have had, what are we at now?
40 odd years of...
Has they just celebrated the 40th anniversary? Is that right? Something
yeah.
like that. So they've had a long time to get used to people coming in and out and all the dietary requirements and all that malarkey. Universal have got where they are very quickly, and they're still learning day by day to cope with the influx of people that they've got coming in. So they're still finding the feet.
I think that's a weak excuse.
No, I think it's true.
Because from the get-go, there should have been catering to everybody. If you were saying it was things like people...
Vegetarians weren't around in 1990. They didn't exist. There were the hippies that I don't
skip
eat meat.
past that.
It's true.
I could understand now if they were struggling with people with paleo diets and gluten-free diets and all these other ones that are now becoming the norm. I could understand if you were saying they're going to struggle with that, but vegetarianism has been around for a lot longer than the 90s,
Yeah, but not as widely as it is now.
I think you'd be surprised.
No, it's not.
Okay.
And theme parks have always been notorious
Right, vegetarians unite. Let's let Lee know just how many of us there are.
Don't bother. Can we move on, please? Before I put my foot in my mouth.
Yeah, that's not vegetarian.
Well, obviously not. It's got meat on it.
All right, well, let's go ahead and step lightly over to another Autism at the Park with Maureen from Universal Studios Florida.
Hi, this is Maureen Deal with Autism at the Parks, and I'm reporting from Universal Orlando Resort for the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. And today I'm at Universal Studios Florida, standing outside the Revenge of the Mummy attraction. And this is a thrilling high-speed coaster, and it's highly recommended by most coaster enthusiasts. And its requirements are that guests must be 48 inches tall in order to ride the attraction. The ride employs safety restraints which may not accommodate certain people due to the body shape and size, so please check out the test seat in front of the attraction. In addition, all loose items are required to be in a locker, and the lockers are available right before you enter the attraction out in the front. Those guests who are using wheelchairs, according to the rider's guide, there are several vehicles on this attraction that have been modified to aid you with your transfer from your wheelchair to the ride. And please see an attendant for assistance if you need that. And this has been Maureen Deal for the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, signing off from Universal Studios Florida. And could somebody please get me some coffee?
Awesome. Oh, great. Thank you very much for that, Maureen. And, hey, let's go rehash this topic again. Are you thinking of sampling the new meat-free Hard Rock menu? or not. Any menu, really? Just okay. Then contact Fairy Godmother Travel to book your next vacation.
Yes, Fairy Godmother Travel can take care of all your Universal Orlando vacation needs at no extra cost to you.
And if you're planning to visit Disney, they can help with that too, because they are authorised Disney vacation planners.
Yep, you can contact them today by phone on 832-284-4002 or toll free at 888-939-642-539 or go to fairygodmothertravel.com.
And please let them know that you heard about them because of the UUOP, because every referral made through us helps us continue to bring you the best weekly Universal Orlando podcast.
Yep, Universal shared an interesting post on their blog.
What's going on tonight?
No one can talk. We were all right.
We were fine before we went vegetarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, Universal shared an interesting post on their blog recently, and we thought we'd bring it to your attention, and that is the ability to send actual mail from Hogsmeade with an official Hogsmeade postmark on it.
Yeah, I'm sure people...
Been able to do this.
Yeah, but I don't think
opened.
people... I think it's still one of those hidden
people don't
gems
know,
that
yeah.
people don't necessarily know about.
Didn't we get a postcard sent?
Casgrave,
Casgrave,
yeah, years ago.
I've still got
like
it.
episode 7.
Yeah, we still have it, Kaz.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you know, the hidden gem, as it is, that
Yeah,
they
I'm with
posted
you.
is the Owl Post.
Sorry, I misheard. I thought it was being...
No, it's not a new thing.
No,
No,
it's
they're
a new
posting
thing, I
it
was
as
gonna
of
say.
like, do you realise you can actually do
Yeah.
this in? Because obviously, if they're posting it, not a lot of
Yeah, why have
people
we
know
never
it's
done
going
it?
on.
I know it's a bit of a pain in the
Who are we
backside.
gonna
Is it?
post it to yourself?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll find out. So the shop's located next to Ollivander's One shop in the centre of Hogsmeade, as I'm sure, well, as we all know. Whether everyone else does, I don't know. And in that shop, you will find variety of stationery and writing implements like feathered quills and beautiful parchments. Tracy, why have you never been in there and bought something? That
Because
sounds like
you
it's
won't allow
right
me
up
because you're a
yours.
tight ass.
Scriveners or whatever, tight ass.
Yeah.
You will also find some beautiful owl plushes and other gifts. But one of the coolest experiences of the Owl Post is mailing a letter with a special Hogsmeade postmark.
And here's how you do it. First, pick out your stationery and jot down all of the adventures you've had and memories you've made so far in the wizarding world of Harry Potter.
Don't forget a single one.
Nope.
Or there will be consequences.
You need to use your wand to take out your memories and use the pensive.
You may have to write very small, depending on how long you've been there.
Exactly.
And next, you pick your choice of stamp for your letter.
That's cool.
For example, there is one with a beautiful shot of Hogwarts Castle.
I need to have all of these.
Once you're ready to mail your letter, you receive a special Hogsmeade stamp on your envelope before you hand it off for delivery. And next time you're in the wizarding world of Harry Potter Hogsmeade, share your own adventures by mailing a letter to a family member or friend.
I think you just post them to yourself.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Sort everyone else. I
I need to dig that
each.
one out. Kaz sent us, actually. I can't remember what they look like. I think it is in there.
It's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember you guys talking about it, but like in the park, there's nothing that really will direct you to that.
Yeah.
No.
And I think a lot of people think that middle area is just a seating area with the benches and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people even realize there's a shop back there.
No.
I
Because it's
that
like,
shop.
I'm sure you can post stuff in the shop at the front of Islands of Adventure as well, and it'll have an Islands of Adventure postmark on it. I'm sure that's something. I'll have to look into that.
Oh
Wouldn't
yeah,
it be
with
cool if you could post
the
something in
the
each
airmail
land?
or rocket mail.
Yeah, something.
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
sure you can.
Yeah.
And it has an IOA postmark on it.
You should be able to post something in every single land and get that postmark. That would be
I know who.
Awesome.
I know who'll know that. I will ask Tyler because he used to work in that shop, so I will pick his brains.
The struggling United States Post Office system would very much appreciate you doing that at every available opportunity.
And remember, if you have no one to send them to us.
Yeah, but you've got to give our address out over the air, and then
Special people know it.
everyone in the producers club know it because I posted the Give Kids the World donation letter, and it had our address on it.
The stalkers
Oh,
know
boy.
it. The stalkers know it.
Yeah.
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 Well, that is really cool though. That's a neat thing to try, and probably won't cost you too much
No.
to do it. So.
And again, it's one of those things. I think even people who go at the parks all the time probably pass it by and forget about it.
Yeah. Now, I wonder if they do something similar at the stationery store in Diagon Alley. That would be cool. I
Yeah.
don't know if they do though.
Is that Scriveners?
Scriveners
Yeah.
is Hogsmeade.
Is it?
Yeah.
Scribulous
Yeah.
then,
It's Scribulous.
Scribulous?
which is I don't know.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
need
I
to go
think
back.
I know.
Sounds familiar.
Hazy memory. Where's Orlando again?
I don't know. It's where Darren is. Near where Darren is.
Tis a silly, silly place. And actually, in other news here, we're in the process of arranging an interview with Universal Orlando about Toothsome Chocolate Emporium.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just received an email from our PR contact today saying it is in the works.
Woohoo!
Nice. But in the meantime, we wanted to share a recent interview Universal released on their blog with with Chef Stephen Jason.
Universal Orlando asked, how do you go about designing a menu that captured Professor Dr. Penelope Thibault-Tinker Toothsome's travels?
I didn't know that was her full name. Chef Jason said, Penelope has toured the world over, and looking closely at her travels, we were able to pick out some great dishes from different cultures and incorporate them into a savoury feast menu.
Universal Orlando then asked, tell us about the novel twists your team has introduced to some of the classic menu items featured.
Chef Jason replied, looking at classical cuisine, we were able to take many of these dishes and update them, giving them a fresh look to make some exciting choices for our guests. We will go into much more depth, by the way, when we ask questions, whoever we get on.
Universal Orlando asked, let's move on to the dessert foundry. Certainly on everyone's mind. What inspired the one-of-a-kind assortment of desserts and their over-the-top presentation?
Well, we heard there was a place at Disney trying to do the same thing, so we wanted to get in there first. Oh no, he said, of course, at Toothsome, chocolate is sacred. Working with different chocolates and other exciting sweet elements and a bit of imagination and creativity, we were able to develop some really exciting desserts, sundaes and milkshakes.
Universal Orlando then demanded an answer to the following question. What's your favorite menu item and why?
And Chef Steve Jason said, it would be difficult to choose one item out of our over 100 different savoury and sweet choices. Wow. If I had to pick one, I guess it would be the croque monsieur sandwich with the classic French onion soup au gratin. Oh, wow. What is a croque monsieur?
Croque monsieur, I'll make you one.
Croque monsieur. What is it?
It's basically a grilled ham and cheese sandwich, but it's all...
Is it a little bit like a Monte Cristo?
I think
Everyone raves about the Monte Cristo at Disneyland.
I might be confusing it with that.
We'll go ahead and wrap up with an email from Kelsey.
Yes.
And she says, hello, UUO podcast. Kelsey May here. I just wanted to start this email off by saying how thrilled I am that I came across your podcast. I found it via Instagram, Facebook, and just fell in love. Aww. All four of you are so knowledgeable about Universal.
See?
I enjoy hearing all your suggestions. It's fun reminiscing with you each week and learning new things to do and try next time I'm in Orlando. I've been going to Universal since 2014. I came for Harry Potter originally, but fell in love. I took my boyfriend down in May of this year, and he is now hooked as well. We are wanting to plan another trip for 2017, which will make my fourth and his second time. I've been trying to decide on the right time of year to go.
October.
Yeah.
So my questions to you all are, one, which Universal Park is better, Universal Studios? Oh, wait, sorry. Universal Studios Resort in Orlando or Universal Studios in California? Orlando.
Can't really answer that.
I think it depends on what you want. I think if you're a huge film fan, you're going to get a lot out of Hollywood. But if you just want the sort of immersive theme park environment, then it's obviously Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to do both. I'd love to do the tram tour in Hollywood.
Yeah, definitely. But just know that if you do choose to go there, to go to California, there's one park there.
Mm-hmm.
The number of rides and that kind of thing is significantly less than at the Universal Studios Resort. And the only real, the difference, the tram tour is about a 45-minute tour.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's essentially the rides that they have there are pretty close carbon copies to the ones here.
Well, from what I've heard, the other than maybe Jurassic Park, the rest of it, because I know Hunter's ridden the Mummy, he said it's terrible.
Because she's mentioned Disneyland, so if you're throwing in Studios in California, Disneyland, then you've got California Adventure. But from what I'm hearing, they're all one-day parks.
It's weird because she's asked that I've heard that neither are worth the trip out there. Now, I've heard a lot of Disney fans say Disneyland is a mecca.
The original, isn't it?
Yeah, it's somewhere I would like to get to at some point.
It depends on... I'd say it depends on whether you're the film fan or the ride fan, really.
Mhm.
I think
And
if you,
how much time you have to spend.
I think that's it as well. If you're wanting to go on a 2-week vacation, then yes, you go to Orlando because you've got Busch Gardens. It's an hour and a half out. You've got Kennedy if you want it. You've got all the stuff in sort of
you've got all the
central
Disney
Orlando. But
parks
if you're
and-
going over to California for theme parks, you got Six Flags Magic Mountain. You've got Universal Studios Hollywood. You've got Disneyland. There's SeaWorld San Diego, but they're not close.
No.
You're looking at a drive out from all of them. Whereas if you go to Orlando, the furthest you're going to travel is Kennedy or Busch, and
That's
they're
like an hour,
about
isn't
an
it?
hour and a half.
And easy drives as well.
Yeah.
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 So I mean, it's iffy. And then the other big thing is Disneyland. Like Disneyland is smaller than like the Magic Kingdom on our side over here, but it has the distinction of being the original.
Yeah.
You know,
Walt set foot
if
in that
you're
park.
into if you're in the history of Disney and seeing, the original, if you want to walk where Walt walked, that's where you're going to be able to do it. So.
But then also, I was listening to, I think it was the Unofficial Guide Disney Dish with Jim Hill a while back now, thinking about it. And for all Disney, like the actual Disneyland park is far, far smaller than the Magic Kingdom. It has more rides in it than the Magic Kingdom does. So, like, it might be smaller, but it's got more attractions in it. So you're not having to walk miles to get from each attraction.
It's just like one of our theme parks.
You literally
then.
hit from, it's bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang. But also, I think with Disneyland is one of the reasons I want to visit it. Like Disney World is a chore, it's a trek. Whereas, from what I gather, Disneyland is set up like Universal. You park where you park, and then Disney Village is there where City Walk is, and then your 2 parks are where Islands and Universal Studios are. It sounds like it's set up very similar.
Yeah.
So you can literally walk from one park to... You can see the entrance of one park from the entrance of the other.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one thing, like me and Nina coming home from Universal on some of these Horror Night nights, we're like, hey, do you want to stop by Epcot and do the food and wine on the way home? And then we're like, okay, well, yeah, we can do that. The parking at Epcot now that they have the preferred parking is you're going to be in the back 40, so you're going to have to take a tram in. And even worse if you're going to the Magic Kingdom. If we wanted to just stop by the Magic Kingdom, that's an hour process to get there.
Yeah, I hate going to Magic
from the
Kingdom.
highway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like the Magic
having
Kingdom.
to ride the monorail and
Yeah.
get over there. So
It's
getting out of Magic Kingdom.
I
It's
had-
the bit I really hate.
No, I don't mind that. It's getting in. It's like being in the Magic Kingdom so stressful anyway, but you're frazzled before you even set foot in that park. Like, you park, and then you walk to your tram, you get your tram to the monorail, you're queuing with... People I have to be on the monorail
people
first,
have
so
this
you're elbowing out
yeah,
the way, then
people
you're
are
on
just
the
horrible.
monorail, and then you get off, and it's all funneled down into sort of 2 across, and everyone's rushing to get to the ticket things first, and then by the time you're in there, you're like, do you know, I just want to go home, I've had enough now.
yeah, definitely. So, but that's not even part of the equation.
No.
Magic Kingdom is not on the table. Okay, so let's get to
Tangent to us.
She says, if we decide to go to Universal Studios Orlando, we will be staying on site again. We have stayed at and loved the Royal Pacific, but want to change a venue this time around. What, in your opinion, is the best hotel of the 3 top-tier hotels on site?
Well, Hard Rock was lovely.
If they want to switch from the Royal Pacific, I would say Hard Rock all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be your biggest change, I
we
think.
did Royal Pacific, and then
Yeah.
we did Hard Rock last time, and it was really, really nice.
But not trying to push the agenda that's where we stayed last time.
No.
It's walking distance to the parks. It is very different from the other 2
It
hotels.
is. It's a nice walk into the parks.
It's
Or
a
you've got the
lovely
little
walk.
ferry, whatever they call it.
Water taxis.
Water taxis.
Yeah. It's a
It's
lovely hotel.
It really is. Staff are amazing.
Just, yeah.
Got some good restaurants.
I mean, Portofino looks stunning, but it
But
looks big and
pricey.
it's quite far out. And
Yeah.
I suppose it depends if you're going to spend... It's one of those things for me.
How much
is
time are you going to
you-
spend in your hotel?
Yeah, because they're not cheap. I want to stay at Cabana Bay, but the
I
one
really
thing
do.
that puts me off is that you don't get the express.
Yeah. And that's the reason we stay in the hotels.
Basically, it
Basically, it is.
What I would like to do, and I should be saving this for next week, but it's not actually one of them, is spend 2 weeks on site and literally hotel hop.
Hotel hop.
So you start bottom end and work your way up. So you do couple of days in Cabana Bay, couple of days in Sapphire Falls, couple of days in Royal Pacific, couple of days in Hard Rock, and a couple of days in
I
Portofino.
wonder if they would transfer your bags between hotels.
Probably.
Interesting. That could be something to look into.
The one thing that does put me off it is because obviously we'd have a car and you still pay for parking. That annoys me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really annoys me.
Yeah, I know it's less at
You're paying
Cabana
a lot.
Bay,
No, but
but-
you're paying a lot of money to stay on site. But that's
it's not their fault,
that's
is it?
not
It's
Universal.
because,
That's
it's
laws.
because the laws, isn't it? That's the awkward thing.
You know,
Right.
they're trying to take in as much money as they can. You know. Hey,
Yeah, and
even
I've
remember.
only ever stayed at Royal Pacific, so
In the dungeon.
in the dungeon.
broom closet.
Oh, Darren.
Florida resident closet, yes.
Oh, I,
I mean-
felt so sorry. I felt so
Yeah.
bad. It's like, bye. Bye. See you, Darren.
But yeah, going like the Royal Pacific was always, well, apart from Portofino, but I know Lee's too tight to let me stay in the Portofino. It was always Royal Pacific was the one I wanted to stay in, and I did.
No, it wasn't.
No,
It wasn't actually, because I remember when we looked at
Excuse
booking a
me.
hotel for that, we like the
know.
Portofino was the one we wanted to, and
No.
then we watched the videos and went,
do listen.
"Go on."
Yeah, Portofino originally, yes, but also the price off-putting.
They're not that
know.
much more expensive for one night, but anyway.
But the Royal Pacific was the one I wanted to stay in, and we stayed there, and it was lovely. And then I stayed in the Hard Rock, and I would choose the Hard Rock over the Royal Pacific.
Yeah, the sheets are quieter.
Yes, the sheets are much quieter, and they have Q-rigs.
When you've got a 9-year-old that doesn't lay still, Jesus,
With
and those sheets, it
overstuffed.
was like she was.
Like a
It's like it was
newspaper.
made out of newspaper. Like, will you shut up?
Just give everyone parachutes to sleep under, actually. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
and then she, well, let's move on to the next part here, because, yeah, there is another part.
Yeah.
I've always been to Universal in the early parts of the year, once in January and twice in May. I found January to be too cold for outside rides.
Yep.
Yeah, it is a little bit. May was wonderful.
Yep, I like
We
May.
went early enough that the school crowds hadn't hit, but it was still warm enough to enjoy water rides. Our anniversary is in September, and we were thinking of going around that time in 2017. Is that a good time of year to go?
Yes.
Is it still warm enough?
Yes.
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 Yes,
You'll
yes.
want to do water rides.
Yes, just go.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
can be up to 100 degrees in September.
We've been in water parks in November.
I have said
Everybody thought we're mad, but we were in water parks in November.
the first time we came over in 2004, we came over the last week in September, the first week in October, and the weather was perfect. I think we had a hurricane the first weekend we were there, but it only affected us for like one day. Other than that, the weather was fantastic. It never rained. We got to hit Horror Nights because Horror Nights had started when we were there. I think it's the perfect time to go.
Yeah.
You've got no, like our kids, I don't actually know where Kelsey's from, but you haven't got, like, our kids from the UK will be back in school,
Yeah.
so you haven't got any the UK crowds over at that point.
No.
So the parks
August
are
is too hot for me.
quiet,
It's humid and horrible. September's lovely.
Yeah. This year it was still pretty hot, and this year it rained a lot in September. So,
yeah. But
yeah, your mileage may vary depending on that. Your guaranteed clear times here in Florida are January, February, March. But like you said, those are the chillier times. Maybe towards March, April, you're gonna see like the weather pick up a little bit, be like really nice. Either like in the 70s or in the 80s, low 80s maybe by that time. So I would say, yeah, March or April, and it's not going to be very crowded at the time either. So it might be something to look at.
But October's good as well.
go because you want to go to Horror Nights.
Yes, go to Horror
You
Nights.
have to go to Horror
Yeah.
Nights. If you're even thinking about going around September, you've got to go for Horror Nights. Like, why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Just be careful. Opening night of Horror Nights is cursed.
Yes, Kelsey. Sorry,
This year
Kelsey.
it didn't happen.
Yeah, sorry, Kelsey. I'm stalking you on Facebook. I think she's from Alabama.
Right.
So
Not
yes,
too
from
far
the
away
US.
then.
So yeah, you won't have all the Brits in the park in September.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have
Yeah.
all the childless Brits in the park in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, September is a good time to go. And like I said, the second half of September, Horror Nights is still going on.
Yeah.
So probably even earlier next year. It's probably going to be like September 1st.
Yeah. Well, when we came over, the first night was October 1st.
Yeah.
And put it this
Yeah,
way,
and this year it was the 16th.
yeah,
So
we were at Horror Nights the opening night, And we stayed there till 1 o'clock, and the pair of us were more than comfortable in shorts and t-shirts at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So, yes. Great time.
Yeah, it only just now this past weekend was our first like little cold front where at night it's getting down to like 60.
I don't know what that is in English.
60. We're in the 40s during the day.
All right, it's freezing.
Boo-hoo.
We went to that horn thing the other night with thermal socks and thermal vests and two coats.
It
was all right, actually.
Yeah, so... I mean, yeah. If you're from Alabama, though, you probably get close to the same weather we do, so you're probably not too thrilled about it being that cold. So, yeah. And if you do go to Horror Nights, then definitely end of September. If you don't go during the end of September. Go towards the beginning because your park hours are going to be cut really short. So,
yes.
She said, "Thank you for taking the time to read this really long email and for any advice you can give. Looking forward to hearing from you, Kelsey May."
I hope that's helped.
What, listening to us waffle about stuff that's got nothing to do with the questions
She
she
can
asked?
pick the important bits out.
Go to the Magic Kingdom. Don't go.
It's too stressful.
Just listen to me, I'm right.
Just don't go to Disney, full stop.
You stop it.
Or just go to Epcot. There's no reason to go to
I'm
any
looking
of the
forward
others
to going
anyway.
back to Disney, so shut your face.
Epcot? There's no reason to go to any of the others.
Haunted Mansion. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it worth the hassle of getting in there?
Yeah.
It is sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes.
Well, that's going to do it for this Universal podcast. Thanks very much for joining us. And for Donna, Maureen, Kelsey, Tracy, and Lee, this is Darren, and this has been the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
That's it for another Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Make sure you never miss a show by subscribing on iTunes, and while you're there, please leave us a rating and a review. Listen to us on Stitcher, Google Play, and all your podcast apps. Email us with any questions or comments to podcast@uuopodcast.com, or, even better, record your message at speakpipe.com/uuopodcast. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest, keyword UUO Podcast. Check out our blog for even more content at uuopodcast.com. And finally, our sponsors, Fairy Godmother Travel, are here to help with all your Universal vacation needs. So check them out today at fairygodmothertravel.com. Well, that's a wrap. See you next week.